Okay, so we will start with a little bit of writing today. I have a couple quotes for you. One of them I'll have y'all write down, and then the other one I'll just kind of like read and go over, and I'll type it in so that y'all can write it down if you want, but I won't make you guys spend the time to write all of them. Okay, so the first one, and this week I have the author of it for all of y'all who love to know the author. Mostly just Kelsey. Okay. This first one, I'll paste it in the chat for y'all too. But it says, stop asking yourself, I'll read it and then I'll break it down so y'all can write it. It says, stop asking yourself what you want, what you desire, what interests you. Ask yourself instead, what has been given to me? What do I have to give back? Then give it. And that's by Cheryl Strayed. So it's in the chat, but I can break it down if y'all want to write along. So the first part, stop asking yourself what you want. Stop asking yourself what you want, what you desire, what interests you. That's the first sentence. So stop asking yourself what you want, what you desire, what interests you. And then we have, ask yourself instead, colon, what has been given to me? What do I have to give back? Then give it. So just that second part is, ask yourself instead, what has been given to me? What do I have to give back? Then give it. Stop asking yourself what you want, what you desire, what interests you. Ask yourself instead, what has been given to me? What do I have to give back? Then give it. Okay, and then I'm gonna type in the next one if y'all want to like take a picture of it to write down later. That's totally fine. This next one isn't really an official quote. It's actually just something that I saw in like an Instagram caption, and I thought it was very interesting. It kind of goes along with the same theme of giving. I've been thinking a lot about the idea of giving and receiving, and kind of how they both have to work together and they both have to be present. I think that kind of relates to what we were talking about last week with the idea of like having different maybe opposing like thoughts and emotions, but how really those can work together, and how we almost do need both sides of them in order to be fully like aware of each one individually. And then I saw this and thought it just kind of summed it up really well. Okay. You don't have to write this one right now, but I just think it's a good thought. Okay, so it says, giving cannot occur without a receiver. Receiving, therefore, is actually an act of giving. Receiving gives the act of giving some place to go. So if you want to jot that down super fast, that's totally okay. If you want to take a picture of it, or I can send it to y'all later if you need. But giving cannot occur without a receiver. Receiving, therefore, is actually an act of giving. Receiving gives the act of giving some place to go, which I think is just like an interesting thought. I think a lot of times we feel like we always have to be like the giver and like giving to situations. And that if we're not doing that, we're really not like fulfilling like an ultimate purpose. But I think that in order to give, we have to be receiving, and just you like being receptive of like maybe if you have like a friend who's like having a hard time right now and they're like trying to talk to you about it and you're like receiving what they're hearing and then like just being there for them, that is like an act of giving. So that's just something I've been thinking of. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys like a 3 to 4 minute timer to just kind of like open right. I know we do that in the studio normally. I just want you guys to kind of reflect on where you're at right now, how you've been feeling, kind of assess like anything that's been coming up. If you want to kind of reflect on this idea of like giving and receiving and thinking about like what you've been given recently or what you feel like you're trying to give to others, any of that. So I'll play a song for y'all. And I'm just gonna set a timer for like, maybe we say like 4 minutes or so. And then we'll go from there.
You told me the day that you show me your face, we'd be in trouble for a long time. I can't wait to afraid of nothing. I can't wait to be high from nothing. Nothing ends you. This
good. Go ahead and you can finish up your thoughts if you need another second. After that, I want you guys to kind of think about what you wrote, and I want you to narrow something down for yourself to one sentence, like something simple. It can really be anything, but maybe like about how you're feeling about like this time. It could be like, I don't know, like I am moving forward, or this is a beautiful time, or it doesn't have to be a positive thing. It can be just like one sentence for yourself. We'll reference that later, but it can really be anything. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And then once you have that done, you can go ahead and put that away and stand up, and then we'll get started. Just keep that nearby where you can access it in a little bit. Okay, so today what I thought we could do, we haven't done this over Zoom yet, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be cool. We're gonna work with sentences and little phrases that I want you to like explore how small changes within like a phrase can change like where your movement is directed from. And I feel like it's kind of like the reverse of last week, where we worked more on like movement quality from like a physical standpoint of like, these are like the textures or like the like physicality, like movements, if that makes sense, that we were like dancing from. But now it's gonna be kind of like, I don't want y'all to think about having any certain kind of qualities. I just want you to think about like, whatever intention you feel like is associated with whatever I give y'all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type like a little sentence or phrase in the chat, and however you read it, whatever your first interpretation is of it, I want you to use that for like your intention. So I'm not gonna tell y'all how like I'm meaning it. However you like read it and interpret it is what I want you guys to go off of. Yeah, and then I'll like make little tweaks to it, or maybe change a song, and then we will go from there and kind of talk about like how y'all are experiencing that. Does that make sense, kind of? Okay, cool. Okay, first one. I think we'll do probably three different ones, but like we'll like change each one a couple times. Okay. So however you first, like whatever your initial like interpretation of this is what I want you to go with. That's your first one. Okay. I'll play music for y'all. That way I can kind of like change it if we need. Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready, just start to explore that phrase through your movement. the whole time.
never seen before. The whole world to call their own. All home. Now I know.
Okay, good. I'm going to make a little change to it. So come look at this new one.
It's a whisper I hear in the dark.
Okay, so now however you see that, however you think that differs.
Into a darkly hole. Put thought into the words before the told.
Good, Delaney.
This begins to crack. And I thought you'd talk back to me. All on your own. All on your own. All on your
Nice, you guys. Keep going. Okay, good. Okay, good. Relax, guys. Next one. Also, don't be afraid to kind of like turn down the volume of your movement to conserve your energy if you feel like you need to. Okay. This was a little bit dramatic, sorry. Okay, there's your next one. Let's see, let's change this one. Make sure to keep that phrase in your head the whole time. That's where everything should be coming from. Nice, Sophia, good. Okay, good. I'm gonna make a little change to it. Okay. There you go. Here's your new one.
Everybody's losing.
We'll change the songs.
A danger here, a distant hill that's holding like
Nice
an
accent,
army.
kid.
A lonely chill, a common fear, I'm bruising like a heel. You missed. You're alone. You're alone. 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 You're alone. You're alone. Constantine, a golden night,
Get on it.
running like a race. With stars and spheres, a flash of light, burning like a flame. Again, you're alone. You're alone.
Okay, nice, guys. Okay, next one. Let me change the song real quick.
Time with mine, you look to see.
Okay, there you go. Okay, same exact sentence, but this song now. Same exact sentence. Maybe think about how the music can also change your interpretation of it, even if it's the exact same thing structurally. Beautifully on it.
Shattered in history, shattered in pain. Oh, in the lengths that I will stay up late. I should have known that I shouldn't have to compromise and to cover all what's inside. There is no desire. You have to decide if you come to know the faithful kind. Time and again, it's time to be brave. Content to the phrases that are gone in mazes, just some kind of pages. That's for my sister, that's for my makeup. It's like going the road I'd known as a child of God, in order to become stable. Am I dependent in what I'm defending? To bring it to hold what faith provides. Fold your hands into mine. Do I believe it? See it every time. I walk slowly in the dark. This is a visitor, and we have to know that faith declines. I'm not out of line.
Okay, nice guys. Good. You guys look beautiful. Okay, come on over. You guys can take a seat, grab some water if you need. I know that was like a long time for y'all to dance. Okay, does anyone have, I would love to hear any thoughts you guys have on that. Maybe about anything with it. Kind of like maybe how you interpreted the different sentences. Like if there was a certain one that you were like, oh, I really strongly immediately saw this as like, you know, in this certain way. Or maybe if you felt more affected by like musical cues versus like the actual structural changes of the sentences, sorry. Any thoughts that anyone has? Anything? Or
I thought it was cool. Like every time like the punctuation changed on like the sentences, because like even though that like it was the same like phrasing or like the same like words in a sentence, the punctuation really had like a big difference on like how it was like perceived, like especially like the like please don't go and then like the please don't just go away, like two completely different like meanings but like the same words still. So I thought that was like really cool to like experiment with.
Yeah, good. Great thoughts, Delaney. Thank you. And anyone else? Miley.
Okay. Every time it had like the 3 dots at the end, I kind of thought of it as like a questioning it. So like in the beginning, it was like, I can do it, and with like an exclamation point, and then like whenever you added the 3 dots, it was like questioning, like, can you do it? Kind of like that.
Yeah, like more hesitant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Great thoughts.
Sarah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Kelsey, and actually Megan. Megan, go ahead, and then we'll do Kels.
Sorry. I just enjoyed approaching all of the sentences with like a more emotional like attack, and especially like wherever you're dancing. Like mine is my living room right now, and just like approaching it more emotionally really like changes how, you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah, totally. It changes like the whole intention, right? It kind of like, I feel like when we're able to stop thinking about, I think also, sorry, I have different thoughts happening, but in improv, I think it's really easy to like get in your head about like, what am I going to do next? And like, what steps am I going to do? But I feel like when you kind of approach it from like more of like an intentional, like direct place, it kind of takes like the stress out of having to like plan what you're going to do or think about it too much. I think it just kind of like happens more naturally whenever it's that way, if that's kind of what you're saying. Kelsey, did you have something?
I felt like also the way how you wrote it, because at first it was I can do it like in all caps and exclamation point, and so I was like that. I kind of interpreted that as like being really happy and like being determined. And then when you wrote it in like lowercase with the different punctuation, I felt like that kind of just changed the whole mood, I guess you could say. And like how I took it, because some of them was like we need to make a change, and then one of them was like we can make a change. Like those were two different types that I kind of took it as.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. That was great. Ella Doom.
Okay, so I really felt like just like on the last one about like we need to make a change, I felt like the first one was saying like that person was like the leader and they wanted to make a change and like find this good. And on the second one, I felt like it was more like questioning, like Miley said, but as if like you were like a follower and you were like following this leader who had an idea.
Yes, that's awesome. Great thoughts. I just love to hear y'all's interpretations of it. Okay, any other ones? No? Okay, Meg Davis.
I noticed that like every single time I was dancing, like I repeated the phrase over and over again, and like the voice in my head, like the way I said it, like made me dance, like in the dynamic of like what the phrase was. If that makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, so that kind of like interpreted like your movement quality, kind of like, with like the volume or like the, yeah, that's awesome. Great point. Okay, cool. Now I want you guys to grab your paper wherever you wrote at the beginning, and I want you to take that sentence that you wrote for yourself, and so that's going to be like your own sentence, kind of your own like intention. So we'll actually, maybe we'll go in like a couple of groups so we can watch each other. Let's go. Okay, Emma McWilliams, Ella Schmitt, Paulina, Marcella, Celine, Delaney, Alexa, Rachel, Ashton, Daniella, Grace Ginteric, Carly, Hannah, Swint, Annika, and Taylor Wenzel, Kennedy, Peyton, Elena. Okay, y'all, let's see you guys. Okay, so now this, that sentence, so you got to keep that in your head. So maybe you can assign to it like certain punctuation or like a certain volume if you're like yelling it or like whispering it, whatever, however you interpret that for yourself now that's your own one. Okay.
just go. I can't handle anymore. She goes when it's ready, and I know it feels heavy. But she knows that he's dirty, to make her feel worthy. She cries like a drama queen while dying next to
Okay, nice guys. Good, good, good. Good. Beautiful. Okay, let's go straight into, where did that end? Was Elena the last one? Okay, so let's go next group. Izzy, Jazmyne, Ella Kay, Arden, Avery Boone, Hannah Freed, Avery Roten, Tori, Meg, Hannah Helt, Emma Wegner, Kate Duffy, Kate Bailey, Emma McLaughlin, Michaela, Leong. Okay, let's do that. Let's just do that for group 2, and then we'll do a group 3, okay?
Summer days fall away. Can I just make you stay? Come on, give it to me. Oh, come on, I'll give it to you, my baby. Come on, worship me. I worship you.
Good. Okay. Last group. Emma Sams, or if you just went, that's fine. I forget where I left off. Kate Beckham, Madison, Charlotte. Ella Doom, Kelsey, Sophia, Miley, Reese, Katie, our other Grace, and Megan.
Like a bird with no song, I've been silent so long. I've been hiding my love, I've been hiding. Like a bird with no song, I've been silent so long. I've been hiding my love, I've been hiding, hiding, hiding. But I'll try you if it works for you. I'll flip the switch. been hiding like a bird with no song. I've been
Okay,
silent.
good, group 3, nice job. Good, okay, now we're gonna go all together. I want you guys to choose something in your sentence to change. So whether that's the punctuation or like the volume at which you're saying it, or if you want to like flip-flop a couple words or like add in a new word, just think of some way to change it and make sure that you have like a clear, like, okay, this is sentence 2. And then we'll just go all together. And so I want you guys to now see how that change affects your movement.
Remember you always, precious things not yet forgotten, like my first, second skin, with my first jump into water, in that wild blue embrace, and the dark bite of November. I remember as the wind whispered. I'll remember you always, among the first of the surprises in the summer of my spring. There's a whistling adventure, there's a song of foolish joy, and the rising bounce of green grass as time passes.
That was awesome. Okay, I'm really curious to hear about this because I feel like I could see, especially in some of you, like a big change. So I'm curious if anyone wants to share what your original sentence was and then what change you made to it and kind of how that like affects. Wait, where's Reese? Reese, can you tell yours, just because I feel like yours was like very different.
Yeah, well, my first sentence was like, basically, I care so much about what other people think and other people's like opinions of me. So I was kind of, just in this last one, appreciating myself, and I said just being myself for who I am and how I was made, because everyone's unique.
Yeah, that's so awesome. You looked great. That was so good. Okay. Is there anyone who like in particular would like to share? Avery Roten.
So mine was like, I was struggling with like my faith and stuff. And so then the second time I was like, I'm fulfilled and like I know like my purpose and like stuff like that. So.
Awesome. So good. Let's see. Celine.
I was using I am confident. So usually when I say that, or usually my sentence was like I am confident ... I feel like ... can be like doubtful almost. So the first time I was almost like not confident, but thinking I was confident. And then the second time I used like an exclamation point and like to be really true to myself when I did it.
Awesome. It's like going from trying to like convince yourself of something to like actually believing it, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Good, Celine. Hannah Freed.
So mine was I will spread confidence with like an exclamation point at the end. And then the second one was I will ... spread ... confidence. So like the first time was obviously like I was more like everywhere around the space, and the second time I like tried to limit not my movement but like not like to hide that I was spreading confidence and like to showcase that I was spreading like everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Good, Hannah. Awesome. Emma McLaughlin.
So my first one was I am staying positive, and then I try to like be more upbeat while I was dancing. But then the second one is I am staying positive, and then the ellipses or the ... And I kind of interpreted that weird. It was like, when your grandma texts you and you're like, she's like, how's your quarantine? And you're like, I'm staying positive. So that's kind of how I interpreted it. Like, you're positive, but you're still kind of feeling down about yourself.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. I love that explanation. Let's see. Anyone else? Marcella.
So, my sentence was like, this is a time to embrace others. And so like in the beginning I was being like expansive and like embracing other people, especially like my family, because I'm around them all the time, and so I'm like spending time with them. And then the second time I was kind of thinking of like embracing others and then like touching, which we can't do right now. So I was being like small and internal and like trying not to touch anything.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Great. Okay. Any others? I'm trying to click through to look for any hands. Megan, McAdoo.
Hi, okay. My first one was I have fire in my soul, period, I am human. And then the second one was I have fire in my soul and I'm alive, exclamation point. And just going from the first one to the second one, I feel like the second one had more, I don't know, it was just really like upbeat and like fast, and like I was just really like happy. Like what I wrote about in the beginning of class is like I just feel like I'm just so grateful to be alive and healthy and like have a beating heart, and like that I get to do this and just to celebrate it. I don't know. I just happy that I'm alive and I'm dancing. So like from going from like just being human to like alive, I feel like I'm living and like my heart's beating and I'm working. I just feel like that's really cool.
Yeah. Amazing. Great. Okay. Let's see. No more? Are we good? Okay. Great, guys. That was awesome. And I'm just going to play one more song for you guys to kind of do whatever you need to do. You can dance it out, or if you want to like stretch or whatever you need to kind of like close off your day, just dancing together a little bit. Yeah. And then you'll be all done. You guys look great today. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Let's see. Hold on, sorry, I'm just looking for a song. Don't take yourself too seriously, yeah? You can let yourself have fun too, whatever you need. Okay, good, you guys. Good. That was so fun to watch. Okay, you guys are all done. Great job. I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Katie.
I was dancing over here. Too.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
My
you.
dad was dancing with me.
Oh, yay.
Good. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Guys, bye.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and Sunday. Remember to relax a little.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.